We are here.
Yo,
Bam.
what's up?
There we are. We are here at the big one. We're doing cruise, and man, I don't even know where to start. We got so many events coming up this week, so many sick crews today. But let's just introduce ourselves. My name is JD.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Wasabi, and I am so excited to kick this cruise off, honestly, JD.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we have just to start Midwest versus New England, right? We could go through all of it, but I just want to start with the starters, right? Because who knows the counter picks and all that, but the starting set going to be Zamu versus Get a War Machine. I need you to give me your take here. I mean, what's on your mind, man?
I have a lot on my mind about this. For one, we have Get a War Machine representing New England, Box, Fox. I assume Fox, he does have a really, really nasty Falco as well. And so I think it's going to be interesting as a fellow Box main. But the other thing is he's facing up against Zamu, a Champagne Fox, JD, and that's scary. Champagne Foxes are like a different breed. They're kind of like Long Island Falcos, but in terms that you'd understand. They are just very good at the Fox Ditto. PRZ is from Champagne. Lord Shabo is from Champagne. Of course, Zamu's from Champagne. And so they've played Fox Dittos. I know for a fact that Zamu's best matchup. He's definitely rocked your boy in the last bracket I entered, honestly. So I think it's going to be a really, really tough battle for Get a War Machine, but I think it's certainly doable, and it's going to be interesting to see how both of these players play, because I think people tend to think Zamu's like this aggressive Fox, but he's such a switch player. He can play reactive and a little bit more passive, and also go in really hard. But he's fast, and so is Get a War Machine, and so I think it's going to be just a lightning round of a first game for this crew battle.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta look at Zamu as the quote-unquote favorite, right? I mean, just a top player by any stretch of the imagination, one of the strongest Foxes out here. Maybe not entering and getting huge results in the modern era, or not getting as the flashiest results, but like anyone who knows anything in the scene knows Zamu, right? It's pretty obvious. GWM, Grown Working Man, or Jesse, or Get a War Machine, whatever he's going by nowadays. Here's the advantage that this guy's got. It's cruise, and I think when we're talking cruise, it's just a different beast. I mean, usually crew battles take place in person, right? This is kind of similar vibes. You come into a set and you play, and it's remote. It's slippy. You're in the comfort of your own home. You don't have 4 homies like cheering you on and 5 that want you to like Thanos snap away. You have kind of more ability to control your environment. But when we're talking about Jesse, he is someone with the attitude, the confidence. Like, he could come into any venue and act like he's the best player in the room, even if he's just kind of scraping for top 8. So I think that energy, especially in a leadoff, like the confidence to lead off with one of the 2 Fox mains that New England's bringing, I think this is Jesse being like, yo, put me in, I'm going to beat whoever they put in there. And I think that confidence this is a best of 1, right? The leadoff cruise is a bow 1. Sometimes in the Fox Ditto, if you're a switch player like Zamu and you aren't maybe completely locked in, maybe not warmed up enough, maybe whatever factor that the working man himself can come in and take advantage of, I think that's a factor. I wouldn't say it's as free as the better player on paper is going to take it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think what I was trying to say, if I can elaborate a little bit, I don't think it was a better player sort of thing, but more of like this is Zamu's matchup. This is he has grown up just playing Fox Dittos against Shabo and PRZ. We're seeing them warm up right now. But I like the thing that you mentioned about confidence, honestly, JD, because I definitely know that Jesse Get a War Machine is the perfect player to start off for New England. There is no better player, and to just like steal the momentum, right? And I think that if Get a War Machine can get the first stock and kind of lead the pace of the match and control that tempo, I think it could be a game that as you said, it's a best of one. So Get a War Machine could get the lead and the counterpick advantage for New England.
Yeah, it's. I mean, look. Let's look at what Twitch is saying. It is a 5-1 odds in favor of Zamu. We are in there, starting off immediately. Let's put the colors to the names as quickly as possible. It looks like we have the White Fox as Get a War Machine and Zamu red, right? It's got to be that.
No, yeah, it is. It most certainly is. Ooh, but great start. Oh, reads a double jump, goes high. Wow. All right, what will happen now? Oof, misses. Oh, reversal. So that's one thing I wanted to, I was holding in the back pocket, but Zamu's reversals at high pressure situations are really good, and that's how he kind of sticks with the momentum. Now that he has a lead, I'm curious on how we will expand it. Oh my Fox God. Error. That's unfortunate.
My channel points are looking like they're in danger. We're not doing a quick flip today. We're going to have to earn our balance here because Zamu is off to a really strong start. And here's the other thing about Cruz. It's not just about win-loss. You got to count every single stock here. And sometimes a victory is just taking one of the best players to the last stock. I don't think Jesse is the type of player to get too rattled too quick, but you saw that up B straight into the stage. Not ideal. But, Fox Dittos, who knows where the stock can come from. I just need to see a little cleaner play if my points are going to stay with the War Machine.
Oh, that's the classic Drug Fox patron right there. Gets the reaction check chase as he but misses the wave dash. I really like how Zamu's right now holding center. I just am wondering if Zamu can take a little bit more space. Calls out that. Might be the stock, honestly. Oh, it is. Wow. This is a big lead for the Midwest. And Zamu avoiding a Marth first round, not running into Calvar is also really, really strong. So this is a great move by Midwest at all in terms of like planning who goes first.
Yeah, I mean, a player at Zamu's level is not going to really struggle against any particular character. Maybe a little bit of a lucky break to get him into his strong suit. It looks like a 3-stock is, oh my God, the forward air to extend and the forward tilt to keep the string going. Let's see if the SDI is enough, but no, the up throw, up air will close it out. Now,
that's huge, JD.
Another stock, 3 versus 2. That's definitely, we're talking about macro here, the macro concepts of the crew battle. If Jesse can pull off some sort of up throw shine, some Long Island action, the K-On, whatever it needs to be. Oh my God, is this it? No. 0%. It's not going to give the knockback needed to keep that extended edge guard, but we'll see.
I like the pressure that Get a War Machine is putting on there. It's just a little bit too late. Zamu closes it out. I was going to say, JD, as I was talking, I love that Get a War Machine kept on the pressure, didn't stay in the corner too much, but yeah, as I said, this is Zamu's best matchup. Champagne Foxes are literally built different. But what are your thoughts, after our first game to kick off Cruise?
My thoughts are I need to make sure that I'm not just throwing points behind my heart. Zamu, I respect as a player, and I would love to get to know better, but Jesse's my boy, and I gambled with my heart, and that's just a bad move. That's my first thought. And I will be putting points on every single match here. I kind of can't not. In terms of the gameplay, I don't think Jesse's happy with that. There was some misspaced up smashes. There was a chain grab that went nowhere because it wasn't jump cancel. There was just certain gameplay there that looked clean. I mean, we saw the up B in the second stock. I think it's just a matter of you start a crew battle, you have very little time to get into it. You got to make it work right away. And Zamu is just fresh to death. I mean, that's the nature of Fox Dittos. Whoever can lock in faster is gonna take it. But 2 stocks is not too bad. I have a feeling Calvar is gonna come in kind of with maybe the 1-2 punch. I don't know exactly how the counter picks go if they get one ban. I think we'll kind of get that answered. We'll get a soft answer if we see an FD Marth next. But it's still early on. We got 5 players each team, and look, we're 16 stocks to 18. Lot to go.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and you mentioned Calvar, right? And then I think that's crazy because there's also a few other species, right? We're especially looking at Ginger. And I'm wondering if Calvar is trying to get the matchup advantage against Ginger over Zamu, while they have other players such as Slox and Bonfire Ted and Trail, right? So it's going to be interesting. I think that second stock that the Get a War Machine got was absolutely crucial in keeping New England in. I think the worst way to start is with a 3-stock deficit for sure.
Yeah. Well, whoever they're putting in, I wonder if they're all on a voice chat. I have to assume the best. I don't know what the meta is. Sometimes it depends on who you're playing with, but I think some sort of cohesion, some sort of like, we got you, you're back, don't worry, hop out of the voice chat, mute everyone, whatever, and then come back in. I'm sure they're strategizing is what I'm trying to say. And I think who comes in to clean up the stock, huge difference between 3 and 2. 2 is you kind of can look at everyone and say, okay, who's got the worst spread against their team? And from what we're seeing, we get to see the playback loop. We do see Calvar entering.
You called it, JD.
Battle.
You called it.
It's kind of like, sometimes it's Occam's razor, right? You think sometimes you don't want to overthink these crew battles. You just got to make sure you're staying alive, because momentum really can kick your ass. If you're saving your anchor for way too long and all of a sudden their top or their lead off is just cruising, you got to stop the bruising. That's what I always say every morning. So I don't know, man. We'll see what Calvar can do. There's definitely a world where this just goes quick 2 stocks gone. Calvar doing crazy Marth, not just Marth thing, but like Calvar thing,
Yes.
Particular. I mean, what's your experience playing him? I've played him once in bracket, and it was almost like Mr. Krabs meme. I didn't know what was going on. There was all this stuff going around me, and I wound up on the floor in a puddle of something. What do you think about Calvar in this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, very, very strong in this matchup. We have a long history of money matches as majors. And, my thoughts on playing Calvar is willing to swing. Again, just very much a switch player like Zamu is. I think the big thing with Calvar is, especially knowing him and getting to talk with him, a lot of it is really just that he's willing to take the risks, and he's never down and out. So I know for a fact he just believes that he can take the 2 stocks, which is like the first most important things you want, especially in a crew battle when you're repping your region. In terms of like what to look out for Marth specifics compared to other players, I really think I'd watch out for a lot of his like aerial play and like down tilt usage, and then when it's the right time, he'll make kind of harder reads, and I think that's what we should look out for with Calvar. But also, like, again, like, it could be a player where he just feels like sitting back and just swiping at the Fox until the Fox, can't make it back on stage. So just such a well-rounded Marth, honestly, JD. It's hard to predict how he will fare against Zamu, who is also like, who I consider like a switch player.
I think he'll fare likely twice per jump, but I think in terms of overall gameplay, Calvar has always been someone with insanely good fundamentals and a big bag of tricks. It's a funny dichotomy he has as a player, but as we open up, obviously you gotta take those stocks. We've earned them. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And we can't do the classic countdown, but I'm sure they picked a time that they're both going to start.
Yeah.
Maybe 45, if I had to guess. Now? Yep. And we're in there. So, look, there's not going to be too much time to analyze. I just want to see clean play as soon as possible, because otherwise these people are going to be disappointed.
Yeah, trying to bait a panic roll there from Zamu out of the corner. Zamu holding shield really well and using crouch cancel. This might be it. Oh, misses it. What I really like so far is, as what you mentioned, is Calvar has a bag of tricks and probably one of the largest among kind of like the players around his level. And so I think that's the scariest part, especially as a Fox, where one mistake and that's your entire stock.
Yep. I mean, it's definitely a Marth that can be swingy and then just bait you on the ledge and gimp you. There's all the different types of strategies, and I think in crew battles that becomes, this is just
what
insanely
that shield
tight
was
right now.
crazy. Tries to snipe with a shine.
But there's no kills. That's the thing. I mean, I say that, and the up B comes out. Calvar.
Right. Here it goes. What will we see?
Oh no, Zamu is definitely just trying to get this up smash, looking around, baiting it out, back airs, to weaken that shield. This is almost like a last stock situation because it is a big difference between a simple counter pick advantage and a full stock advantage, but we're going to get both for this team. Calvar needs to stop the bleeding immediately. A grab can start, but he's mashing.
Mash out.
Yeah, he's touching all those buttons at the same time. Get out of there. Stop touching me, Marth. And I don't think this is going to be an easy combo. I mean, this defense from Zamo has been immaculate, and it is not stopping. It's crouch canceled on the tilts. It is just everything, but you can't crouch cancel that. No, sir.
Oh, no.
Whew. So Midwest looking strong, taking the captain pretty early. Zamu definitely doing the job of bringing out, as you said, the spacey counter in Calvar. And it might be really close, but I think that one stock is a huge deal because we got some sheiks on the other side, and it's not going to be too easy.
No, I agree. I mean, interesting thing is the Midwest chose to rest 2 of their sheiks. A little insider information. So I believe Free Palestine and Dreffen are both sitting out for this crew battle, with Ben being the lone sheik in. Probably what we will see next, unless we're going to get a little funky Marth Ditto with Kuyashi in there. But I like that Calvar only lost 1 stock because Zamu was holding center like a madman. The positional play from a defensive aspect was so good, and Calvar just couldn't get out of the corner. JD, I'm sure you know as well, but Marth only has a 4-frame max Galint off the ledge, so turning your back against Marth and just putting out bears, puts Marth at a really, really weird spot on the ledge, even if it's scary that you can get reversal grab, Fendi down through double down tilted.
Thanks for assuming I knew that frame data. Of course I don't. But in terms of what Calvar was able to bring out, I think you're absolutely right. Just what is available was going to be there for Calvar. It wasn't going to be like the pure optimal. It wasn't going to be the craziest gallant frames. It had to be what he did, and cleaning up that last stock. I think Zamu wanted to clip the edge on that up B, and the pretty clutch down tilt into down air to end it. And what I said earlier, the sheiks, I think just having Ben counts as multiple sheiks. I would be surprised if they send anyone besides Ben, because we're talking about 2 Falcos and a sheik and a Marth. So going for the Marth Ditto would be a little strange, to be honest. Because Slox is in the back end. Now we're talking strat, because this is when crews become really counterpick. Like, what actually do you do? It's not as easy as just picking the right match. There's so many factors, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
and if you indulge me here, no, go for it. What do you got, Will? I heard a thought.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, we're worried about the sheik, right? Ben, we know how good Ben is against Marth. Plays Kadorn practically every week at TMT, and such a strong sheik. But looking past that, what's interesting is New England has an Ices player. Yep. And even if wobbling isn't a thing, in 2021, Ices is so strong still against sheik. And so I think we could see Trail coming out afterwards, and they save Slox for maybe a Ginger or the Real Thing or for Kuyashi,
Well, it looks like we have confirmed Ben going to be up against it. It makes sense. You kind of sometimes, again, you just use your intuition. What can make sense here? Who can beat the player in front of us, and what's in the back pocket, and are we screwing ourselves? And yeah, the Icy's in the back, the Spacey in Slox, and the Sheik Ditto. I don't think Bonfire is particularly definitely not weak in the Sheik Ditto, but not a Sheik Ditto master or weakness in that sense. So kind of pick what you get. And then I think having Ginger for Trail is kind of a Ginger kind of can pick apart a non-wobbling Ices. Let's be honest here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably what they're thinking. Plus, Marth Ices is a pretty strong matchup for Marth. But here we are. We are looking at kind of what I expected. If I could put points on who's next mods, I would be up. But we can't do that here. We're just going to see who's playing. We're going at 45.
Yeah.
And let's start it. 3-4. It's close.
Yeah, no, I love these walling down tilts, right? Sheik forces Sheik to go into the air, where then you can play the mix of putting out an aerial or not. Holds it. Interesting. The cross up F smash.
Is that on purpose? I don't know, man.
Probably not on purpose, but I'm always surprised whenever stuff crosses up with Sheik. You know, I feel like I never have a good grasp of when you can just shield grab it or not. It looks so juicy, right, JD?
Yeah, I mean, juicy is probably what Calvar's saying right now. That was a nice extended edge guard, good percent, and coming back with the immediate ASDI down tech to just get the up B right after. Calvar's been loving those strong hit kill confirm up Bs, and now pretty close. This is going to change the narrative quite a bit if Calvar is able to pull it out. The big difference is actually taking the W. I think you need a counter pick advantage for this to turn around completely. But Calvar, the captain, does he have the same level of BDE that GWM has? Or is it going to be just a typical, you're down a stock, you might look strong, but this is a
that's big.
Ben. Yeah, but small Ben dropping an edge guard, man, this is
every player can mash out now. That was a ridiculous mash into a fair right there, JD. But, I mean, this was big for Calvar, made it on stage, made the recovery a little tricky, got a little bit of extra percent. But yeah, I mean, another thing I just remembered is Ben lost. Oh no!
Well, he's turning right back, but that is no bueno. I think Calvar has it in him to end this. Nope. Oh my god. I think Wispy got involved there too.
Yeah. Oh, we might be even Stevens after this edge guard. Whoa, double dip.
This is pretty bonkers. I did not expect a lot of this stuff. I don't think it's a strong look for Ben in the crew battle to be turning into Zelda like that. You ain't playing Fox, bro. Can't stall in the air that well with down
Another
B.
great mash out though from Ben. The other thing I remember, JD, is Reeve recently beat Ben, and I wonder if that's possibly in Ben's head as well, as things are shifting. And another Ken combo. Calvar's turning this around, JD. Yeah, what's happening?
This is actually pretty nutty. Calvar, obviously not a huge surprise to be winning against Ben, but this was with a stock disadvantage. This is pretty much looking like a 3 stock in a normal game. And the strength of these mix-ups and the combos coming out of Calvar, let's see how the defensive play can come in if he could survive this. It's not as easy as it looks. It doesn't look too easy either, so that's going to be a tied stock. But this is a stock advantage with invincibility. Calvar can make the most out of it. Swinging for the fences, a very aerial-heavy Marth now with the grab, but missing the down air. Now the back air is coming out from Ben. Couple hits, low. Weak hit, and just sitting there and shield, not getting the grab. Now just around the platforms. What the hell? The plot movement is nutty. All these aerials coming out. They're touching each other. Not the tipper. And can he grab it? No, not grabbing the ledge, but another forward smash baiting him out. And Ben is going to lose to Calvar with a 1-stock advantage. This has been completely turned around. That's nutty, dude. This is different. This is different now.
No, this is a different storyline. We jumped timelines. And now New England is in the lead. Calvar, the captain, putting New England on his back. That was an amazing performance, JD. That was nutty. And of course, some mistakes from Ben, but to be able to capitalize it and have, Lady Luck swing, no pun intended, in Calvar's way with those tippers, especially during the Zelda transformation, I think was absolutely pivotal.
Yeah, I mean, I like the pivotal pump too. That's good for you. You fit 2 in there.
Yeah. I think that's a new record for me.
Yeah, 2.
2. Yeah, we'll go for 3.
Oh man, I'll have to really keep an eye out because I feel like the 3rd will be an accident.
Yeah.
Look, Calvar came out swinging, of course. That's one. But that's also just the kind of Marth he is. That felt like a comfort zone game for Calvar, and I think when you're talking about crews, obviously, there's adaptation mid-game, right? There's a little bit of you can't just fall back to your comfort zone. You can't just go in doing what you know. But these are all best of ones, and often there's less stocks than that. So coming in and playing swingy, playing aerial and very drift heavy is Calvar's cornerstone of what makes him unique and what makes him a strong player is his grasp of aerial movement and swinging. And so if Ben doesn't adapt, if Ben doesn't come out with that level of comfort, and we did not see comfort from him with the switch to Zelda, with a few a few situations where the combo didn't get extended as well, or the DI wasn't proper, that's gonna get you. And now we're thinking some more like high concept ideas. Like, what's the morale like on the Midwest team? They came in with an advantage, and on paper they were looking to clean this up. But now Calvar has another stock, and who do you send in? Now you lost the counter pick advantage. Now you might lose another stock because Calvar is one of the strongest on the team, and no one comes in and takes a free stock off Calvar. Of course, they could take one without losing, but it's not free.
Mm-hmm.
So how does it feel to be Midwest? And is this the time for Ginger, the Midwest captain, to come in and lock it down and say, I don't care if they counter pick me. I could beat anyone on their team. Let's stop the bleeding. I got this. Is that what we're gonna see, or is it gonna be someone like TRT who they think could?
Well, I think we got confirmation, and JD, this was actually going to be my guess. I think they're gonna let it go to be a chaotic Marthido, putting in Kuyashi, because I think, you know, you could say, yeah, you could put Ginger in, stop the bleeding, right? Make sure you bring it up to even Stevens. But when you look at the rest of the New England team, right, you have a Spacey like Slox, you have Trail the Ices, and you have Bonfire 10 as Sheik. You most likely want to, like, a Marth going in right now puts all of those players like a little bit nervous, right? Marth strong against all the board. We're probably gonna see a Bonfire 10 counter pick afterwards. But I like putting Kuyashi in because then you save TRT and Ginger for the last. And double Falco is a scary shotgun to look down at if you're New England.
Yeah, I mean, looking down the line, it's still really tough for New England. I think you spelt it out pretty well. And yeah, it's a different strategy when you just got to clean up one stock, right? It's like, it's pretty tough to just four stock in the Marth Ditto. Mm-hmm. And, you know, if Calvar is going to come in and do that, obviously it's like kind of GG's. Can't count Ginger and TRT out, of course, but that's just a situation that's likely not to happen. But you can see that against the Falco, right? There is a world where Calvar just gets like these insane combos and completely gets a Falco shook, and you know they fall apart and whatever. That, I guess, that could exist, and so yeah. I don't know. It really comes down to what this one stock can turn out to.
Yeah, and you mentioned Calvar, and I'd love to focus on Calvar, right? The man of the hour right now, from, you know, bringing New England back to the lead with counter pick advantage. There was a pivotal moment on the last stock that, you know, it happened so quickly I couldn't mention it, but the ASDI down on defense was so crucial on last stock because there was a dash attack that actually just like didn't launch Marth. Marth stayed grounded because of ASDI down. And just that small thing, I felt like made it so that it was harder for Ben to get any sort of momentum last stock. And so, you know, me being the nerd that I am, thought that was like probably really cool, even more than the like Zelda Tipper transformation accidental thing.
Well, wasn't there a situation where it was it a dash attack or forward tilt or something? It was like tech in place, up B to kill. Is that what you're talking about?
That happened. No, that was the first stock that Calvar took, was off of an up B. I think it was a late tech chase, but in the last stock, nothing happened. They went back into neutral again, but there was a dash attack that just like Marth didn't pop up. But talking about Marth, we got two Marths now on the screen, JD. Marthido, I feel like, again, anything goes. It feels like kind of a wild west of like, it's definitely chaotic evil in my head.
Chaotic evil. Well, that's the Foxman talking. I get it. I almost think it's chaotic neutral, if that's the thing, or neutral. Yeah, it's comes down to just like,
oh, no jump
gets
here.
The hit. It's a little bit honest, but this could be scary. We talked about a four stock not being likely, but this is a really early first stock to take, and if Kuyashi does not get some sort of decent percent, I'm talking 20 plus, and bring Calvar to a point where this next stock is easier to take, but that Tipper is going to do it. Calvar looking pretty clean. Who knows where this can go, but it's not gonna be a clean stock taken.
Oh my gosh. I love the light shields on the side platform by Calvar just to run out the invincibility on Kuyashi. Did that also against Ben, but Fuyashi might be able to close it right here. Doesn't. Oh my gosh, it's scary. Marth, I think, now will have a lot of aerials knocked down.
Oh, I love that little dash back. Oh my god, that is so crazy.
No.
That is
Wow.
not great. A little bit of ducking in place, some push-ups, some taunting, and
Is that a
Calvar.
triangle air dodge? Triangle wave dash right there?
Maybe a little triangle jump. It's been so long, I don't even know if it's the proper term or not, but this is not looking good for Midwest. This needs to be taken because one stock is not a lead, especially if it's this far back. Okay, that's two stocks taken. That's a little wild. That hurts, actually. That kind of hurts.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right, man. Let's take a breath. What do we got here? Let's take stock. Let's see what's going on.
I mean, first off, we have to just give props to Calvar. I mean,
Yeah.
England in the driving seat right now. Maybe it's coming home from. Maybe it's coming home for them. If you get my Euro reference.
Exactly, I do because you always DM me about it. That's why.
It's coming home. It's coming home. Melee's coming home.
Oh boy. Well, what?
Yeah.
Let's come home to what New England's gonna bring out next. So
Yes.
we saw the leadoff and get a War Machine, and Calvar came in and took 8. Right. So
Yes.
now
Yeah. Wow.
we have Slox, Trail, and Bonfire. The easy decision, in my opinion, is to just put in Bonfire. It's the Sheik. I think Bonfire is especially good at non-spacey matchups.
Ridiculously good.
Sheik in general is it gets beat up by Spaceys, and this is no disrespect to Bonfire. She's an amazing player, but it is a bit of a polarizing situation with her. She's incredible against the floaties and non-spaceys, and particularly struggles against the spaceys. So get her in there now. Let the strengths come out, and then see what happens after that. And I really think it's as simple as that. Likely TRT will be the next one out, and then we get to maybe see a Slox Ginger anchor situation, and then I honestly think that's a toss-up, because we're talking best of ones here. So
yeah, there are a few
just
key
shape it up,
things, JD, that I'd like to bring to light. Right, one is you mentioned Bonfire, right? Amazing, especially goated on the non-spacey matchups, but also from New Hampshire, the same state that Calvar's from. So the Marth practice is a lockdown for Bonfire 10. So in my head, I agree with you. I think it's the most logical pick if we are captains. And
yep.
we're also mind readers apparently.
Yep.
But also the big thing is, little insider, I'm pretty sure I heard from a little birdie that TRT does not want to face off against an Ices. And New England still has Trail. The Ices.
Okay, all right. While we have a sec, when these hand warmers get interrupted with very rude jabs, the most BM you can do inside of a game is to jab while someone's dash dancing. That's cruel and unusual. I think the Trail. I don't know. Man, I don't know what's gonna come out of that, because I did hear this beforehand. I don't know if we're speaking out of turn here, man. I don't know if we should be influencing the next picks here, because Trail is indeed both teams know who the rosters are, right? That's not a surprise. But
yes,
opinions on character matchups, let's stay out of that.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. All I gotta say, JD, is when was the last time you played at Ices?
Oh my God, man! The Great Ices migration of 2020 was spectacular and devastating at the same time. Spectacular in the most literal sense of, man, was that a big deal. I miss the Ices. They always brought a really nice kind of energy to the locals, and I don't know. I hope they get into commentary or something. They're used to duos, so maybe it's meant for them. But I've not played an Icy in a long time. I missed Diz too.
Yeah,
but
we just mainly missed Diz.
Let's
get into
talk
this.
about this matchup right here. We have one of the most classic at a high level, at the level we're at here. I love watching these characters play. There's so much nuance to. I mean, we just saw it, right? On paper, you think Sheik wins, but it's just ain't that simple. And just like that, you're gonna come back as Zelda, and you're not gonna have invincibility when you come out. Yep, you're gonna have to suffer the consequences of this. Bonfire, not the strongest start. Again, Cruz is just a different beast. It's hard. It's hard to even. Sometimes it feels like a completely different game, but this DI in situation is not looking strong. This is just leading to a lot of combos. Still DIing in, still DIing in, and all of this percent is just devastating. This is not too good.
Wow, we are even.
Taunt coming out. The taunt, the Marth taunt. Oh my god. Just this back and forth is a little much. Bonfire needs to find something if this counter. I mean, the counter pick lead is a little negligible at this point, but you can't give up a 2-stock lead without scaring your teammate. You know what I mean?
Oh. I like the adaptation though of really overshooting the dash attack, swinging with the down smash right there. But the overshot dash attacks just barely nicked Kuyashi. Can Bonfire close this edge guard? No. But still, New England has the lead. This is what Calvar's work is all for, is to allow for this to happen in case, right? And now Bonfire just has to close one more stock, and it's just really about getting that grab. Wow, that was perfect.
Yeah, I think the comfort level has finally arrived for Bonfire. Maybe still a few mess ups here and there, but I see just a game plan developing again. The DI was kind of abysmal. That's a little bit stronger DI there, but as long as it's not a quick kill here into a quick final stock, I think Bonfire has this, but we'll see. I mean, we've been surprised before. Needles barely interrupting that forward smash. That's scary.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was going to be... Oh, no jump here. This could be it. Goes for ledge.
Wow.
That was so crazy.
I don't think anyone saw that coming. Up tilt won't kill. I think maybe a sour spot, or at least not the strongest hitbox. Again, a little bit of a weird hitbox, but I don't think... Yeah, Sheik's not coming back from this. So last stock, this is to determine counterpick stage advantage, which does become a pretty big deal. We're talking about Icy's Falco on a top platform or not. That's kind of what we're thinking here.
Oh, man.
Fox Falco, it doesn't matter as much, but this is going to set the pace for the last two sets
JD,
here.
Bonfire is gonna live or die by a dash attack. I'm gonna call it now.
Oh my god.
If Bonfire ever lands that, I mean...
These edge guards are not looking good for either. We'll see. Yep, there it is. Living.
Yep, or dying. Oh, we don't know. The F tilt lift. I'm so surprised about that. Oh, is that it?
That's the vortex.
Bonfire close it. Oh, tries to call out an early up B. Dies by the dash attack.
Oh, you're
wow.
Right. Nailed it. You're so right, dude. The dash attacks, just never paid off. Not once. And that is huge for Kuyashi. Looking strong, but one stock remaining. Can something come out of it? There's so many questions.
Yeah.
Whew.
Wow, that was... What did I say, JD? I called it. Live or die by the dash attack.
Yeah.
But credits to Kuyashi, for spacing around that, pixel perfect. The worst dash attack I saw was it barely nicking, the last few active frames of Sheik's dash attack. It never popped Marth up. So, props have to be given to Kuyashi for just, constantly playing around that threat range specifically. And that's what allowed Kuyashi to, reverse the tide now. Midwest is in the lead again.
Yeah, I mean, let's just give a quick disclaimer. In these crew battles, it is very difficult to showcase the best you can be as a player. It is almost impossible unless you just, super pop off for no reason, right? And so, we're talking about, we're talking about coming in and being put on the spot in front of hundreds of people, and it's a different beast. But Kuyashi had had the first couple combos, never given up the opportunity to keep the fares coming, get a couple really well-placed forward smashes, I thought, to end combos, and then to clean up that last edge guard was definitely full props need to be given. You're right. Now we talk macro. Now we go back to strat. And, I think the big change in momentum here, the next player will likely be the Ice Climbers, and then Ginger gets to come in.
Yeah.
That's just different. So Slox has likely, I mean, I hope the players ignore me until after they're out of bracket. I have caught glimpse of some of the New England folks hanging out in bracket. We also might be talking to no one because there's advertising ads going on at the same time. Brandon, do you have confirmation that we're talking to no one, or maybe just the subs?
No,
right?
no, I think. Cool.
Wait, what is? Does that mean what I thought it means? Okay, good. Well, I'm just enjoying the melee too much. I'm a bit giddy. I'm on my second White Claw of the day, and you know me, I'm a big ol' I'm a claw daddy. You know what I mean? So, look, here's the bottom line.
Yes.
There are 2 players left for New England: an Ice Climbers and a Slox. I actually don't know what character Slox picked. Slox could have picked Falcon for all we know.
Yeah, honestly, I've not seen Slox in a minute, so I wouldn't be surprised for a Sheik, honestly.
Yeah, for real. Like, Slox has, I think, 5 characters that are unbeatable by 99% of melee players. It's insane. So I think what we have to go off of is there's 1 stock remaining. Do you just throw in Slox and hope that he could do enough damage to clean up the rest?
Ooh.
And it looks like, it looks like the confidence is being given to the closer here.
I was gonna say I was a non-believer. I was always gonna think that it was gonna end with Slox Trail going in, and the big factor was gonna be who goes in for Trail, depending on who had the lead, right? Either TRT or Ginger. But Slox going in, it's an aggressive move by New England. It really forces now it really forces their Midwest's hand if Slox can clean this up, right? If Slox can take this stock really quickly, and we've seen Slox do it so many times against, Rishi. It's almost like a storied rivalry, at least in New York, right? But it's going to be interesting because if Slox can take it, how they force Midwest's hand is going to be interesting, right? Because do they just trust on their boy TRT, or are they gonna maybe take a little bit of extra insurance and putting Ginger in?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. We've counted our chickens here before the stocks hatched, as it were. And I think in this situation, Koyashi has shown some real strong gameplay. And we're into it. Slox playing the Fox. All right, we might have overthought it there, but you never know with this guy.
Oh no.
And hopefully for New England, this just becomes a quick one-off. Slox comes in hot.
Oh no.
But we'll see. Koyashi.
This is scary.
Combos here. Sakurai leading to nothing, but getting back on stage, and now has an opportunity.
Ooh, calls it out an early beat. Wow. JD, I gotta talk about it. I gotta talk about that stock.
I know you have a lot of feelings. Let's go through it. What do you got?
All right. One was I was very worried for our boy Slox. Just the platform tech chases and stuff like that. I think really the biggest thing was that last interaction where Slox dipped low to go for the shine. I think it maybe made Koyashi a little bit antsy, and this is all speculative. But I feel like it forced the early up B because there was no need to early up B there, and Slox was just ready to do that. And the thing that we didn't have time to really set up is how kind of explosive and read heavy Slox can be, right? It's not just that Slox is insanely fast. It's just Slox picks really odd options sometimes, and when it pans out, it pans out. And now we have the situation that I was talking about, which is now, with Slox in there, how will it force Midwest's hand? And I'm really curious to kind of see that.
Yeah, I think the move has got to be to throw in TRT and hope that even if Slox comes out on top in a 1-to-1 matchup, that there's Ginger to back it up, either to clean up and then take the Icy's 4 stocks, maybe with a 1 stock advantage or 1 stock disadvantage, maybe 2. In worst case 3, or who knows? Slox can just completely go sicko mode and take 8 stocks by himself. That's possible. But I think TRT is such a strong player. It's not like oh, Ginger and then this way worse Falco. Like the real thing is the real thing. Like
yeah.
I don't know how else to say it. I wish I had Zolts to kind of spit out here, but if you know, you know. And look, we'll see. That's kind of my hard read here. The other line of thinking is that what we heard was kind of misinfo that TRT doesn't really care about. Look, we have confirmation here on the screen, so I'm going to say that this is going to be ostensibly the final test for New England. If Slox wins this, they're still in it. If Slox loses, then you have Trail, who's a mighty fine player, but just I don't know if he has what it takes against a TRT stock and then a full set of Ginger. It's just it comes down to this, I think.
It does. I mean, TRT very, very good in a lot of matchups. Such a well-rounded Falco, but really, really solid against Fox. The main thing, and I wish I knew more like local history, but Slox's biggest rival in Connecticut, right? The real player to really push Slox every week in, week out was our boy Lint. And I love seeing Slox play against Falco specifically. I think Slox's rapid style and really being able to like close space and prevent Falco from kind of setting up shop with some lasers is really, really crucial. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to remind everyone how sick Lint was, as Slox's biggest rival in Connecticut.
Oh man, yeah, they would both come through. They would just carpool together and hit up our Westchester local and just smack everyone around and take our money and bounce. They were definitely a sight to behold. And so huge shout outs to Lint, of course. We got Slox here, hopefully carrying that Lint XP. And we're in for a few good sets here. We'll see what Slox can pull. I thought he looked really clean that first game. I was scoping out a little bit of those hand warmers, some cheeky movement there, but this is 4 stocks to 4, so we're into it. No countdown. We're going at 8 on the dot. Let's see what comes out of this.
Yeah. The big thing I'm curious is how Slox moves around crouch cancel and ASDI specifically. I feel like Slox just hasn't been as active in this new era where it's just way more prevalent, especially for Falco specifically. Tries to call it out with an up smash here. Another key thing is now that Falco is out of CC %, like knockdown for both of these characters is absolutely crucial into winning.
Yep. I know you got those knockdown percents on lock.
Yep.
It's okay. Let's wait till the percents reset because I want it to be relevant info, not just nerdy info. Because you got that shit. You know when it's useful. Was nerdy the wrong word? I'm sorry, buddy.
No. You're right. It's not the right time to pull out those percents yet. But it might be soon.
Might be now. What does Slox want to get at this percent or at this?
Right now, nothing will knock down. Slox needs to get to 32% for a strong bear and 36.
Oh my god, almost buying a few percents from that sick Omsa tech.
Yeah.
Then snap to ledge and just right back into it. Slox looking real strong, but TRT.
All right, there we go.
I'm seeing really good defense. The Shine Out Shields have been converting pretty well. That's the first one that hasn't really hurt. And they're just coming out real strong. Slox needs to pick better options. And we'll see if any of this can lead to much. It's just good defense all around from both these players. It's a little bit nutty. You almost can't see who's getting what. The turnarounds are so consistent that each opportunity so far, that air dodge looks scary. Try Guys almost getting involved, slowing down that forward smash.
13 now with the lead, but as you said, Omsa tech. Oh my, what?
Oh my god.
What was that?
Anything.
How many side Bs was that, JD?
Oh, the laser reset, bro. I don't even know. This is so fast. I can't even admire it fully. We should really watch it at half speed next time for our sake, but we're in here, bro. TRT, this is all from just insane defense not dying. This was from an Omsa tech into just good
that's it.
ledge play. TRT is about to close this out with 3 stocks if Slox does not come in and do something drastic. Randall even getting involved. Not looking good. Dash attack missing because misread what get up that was. Weak back air upon weak back air. Up throw into another weak back air.
Oh my gosh. Everything's missing or weak right now, JD. The melee gods are not smiling upon New England right now.
No, they are not. And TRT is looking like a closer in penultimate closer clothing. If that made any sense, it made sense to me. I don't care.
Oh,
But
here's an up air though.
Slox.
This could be it.
Yup. Hold on. We are in last stock. Slox with 50%. TRT coming back invincibility, but now the momentum is clearly in Slox's favor, and he's someone who could carry that. But now the combos. Can this end? Edgeguard situation. No shorten. Everyone thought it was a shorten. But now another situation. Shy Guys get involved with the lasers. Going by attack. No down smash. Slox has an opportunity. A shine is all he needs, but the get up attack on the forward smash. Nothing. Full hop nairs. Clip in. A full hop nair down goes Slox. A brief moment where everything looked possible, where the gods smiled briefly upon New England, and then the clouds came back. TRT closes it, but making everyone sweat. That was a bit of a heartbreaker for Slox.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Slox looked like in the lead up until like that shield game from TRT, that reversal game came in. As you mentioned, excellent defensive play. And with Falco, you know, it's all about that shine out of shield, being able to just start a combo. And honestly, that even that last stock, TRT was able to build enough percent at the very start from a CC shine, right? And again, that's kind of the big thing I alluded to is, you know, we haven't seen Slox in sort of this new era where ASDI down and CCs are just way more prevalent. And it looks like it kind of bit Slox, you know, it just was tough for Slox to kind of get around that.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to see a few more shine openings. I feel like it was a lot of clipping with some full hop aerials, and it would work from time to time. I think picking the spots wasn't really Slox's weak point there. It was just creating openings wasn't really happening. And so, you know, TRT obviously, you know, Falco, it's pretty clear when Falco gets a nice juicy combo, but Fox sometimes it looks more like a long sequence of either strings and, you know, regrabs or mix-ups, or it looks different, but it was kind of clear that Slox wasn't getting that same level of clear opening that would lead to juicy percent. It was more chip damage that he would kind of have to get lucky for. But that up air string, bro, that got me going.
I mean, that's the classic, right? Especially on Yoshi's. I think also it's just like the move selection was a little bit unfortunate, and you're right. Slox like just had the openings, but I think there were like 5 weak bears in a row, and if you think if one of those was an air, that's like 50% less, and it could be a different game altogether.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes that happens, right? In melee, and it's unlike traditional fighters where it's like, okay, a jab, a light move, like will like, you know, deplete the health gauge regardless, right? In melee, you have to close stocks, right? And it's a completely different strategy, especially at high percent because of that.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of closing stocks, it can't be said enough. The defense from the real thing on that second stock, when it was 3-3 and Slox was looking to tie it up, and it just attack and some sick movement to come back on stage that led to a full stock being taken against Slox. And so, yeah, you got to close. You got to make sure that you're not just kind of going autopilot too early and just looking for the same openings that you were at lower percents. And I like that you mentioned these knockdown percents. I think anyone getting into the game can start a really good habit of changing your game plan based on what your opponents, maybe not changing your game plan, but incorporating percentage into your game plan. Speaking of percentage, Ices once didn't care about percentage because they would get a 1,000,000% from any point. Now I believe wobbling is fully banned. We need to catch out in some cases, but we have a situation where it might not matter. We just need one stock. Nana's in trouble, but what do you see here, Will? It's a little hectic already.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing, right, now that Nana's gone, the real thing doesn't have to worry about too much. I feel like some species kind of sit back, but you can really go in. There's not a lot that Sopo can kind of contest with, really, against Falco and Nares and Lasers, especially with Nana gone. So I'm looking for TRT to play a little bit closer and just close this stock out. Really, the big thing is just prioritization, right? Beating Ices is more about choosing when to switch your pressure between the character and choosing the right move versus like doing something like super specific, right? And I think players who just play Ices a lot, it just comes naturally to them.
Yeah, and Trail's showing a lot of strong movement, and I really like the decisions I've seen. Now we have a bit of handoff, not getting the proper SDI out, looking like Mango versus Chew right now. Did get back to ledge, so just a quick moment of hope for TRT, but we're still 5 stocks to 3 here, so anything at this point is just...
Oh, that laser switch was so good to prevent
so
Sopo
cool
from coming in.
That was sick. Trail needs to close this out if we want to see a glimmer of hope for this team. But sometimes it's a little bit more about those handoffs and making sure that even though Wildblink's gone, you're still taking full advantage of that strength of Ices, which is grab combos. They still exist. Way less confirmable. Practically, I don't know what's worse than nerfed into the ground, nerfed into oblivion, nerfed into like the grab game goes from literal infinite to to finite. So it's I don't know, man. It's sad. It's a sad story. But Trail's looking good. I don't think this is completely free. Ginger needs to play good to close us out, but we might be looking at the end of the set here.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing, right, is even if Ices doesn't have wobbling, Ices is still like a very strong character that has mix-ups and a really strong punish game on Spacey still. You mentioned like the grab game being finite, but if you don't practice the SDI down off of the down throw down air, you're gonna just get like pseudo wobbled still, right? And that's kind of what we saw, and unfortunately didn't close. The up smash just wasn't high enough against TRT when Trail did it. But someone as studious as Ginger, I can imagine, has that down on lock. And then Ices then have the opening of doing, I think, is it down throw up smash to mix with the DI of the SDI down throw down air. Because they kind of play into each other.
Definitely depends on stage, right? With the platforms and everything. I do have very distinct memories of getting down throw up smashed and regrabbed and down throw up smashed and regrab. We got plenty of good ice climbers in the tri-state, of course, but yeah, I think Ginger is not going to get caught by the down air regrab trap.
Yes. I think the big thing here that we'll see Ginger probably be really strong at is once Icy's shield, you immediately know where their threat range is, right? And you just have to space against a wave dash distance length, right? And that's what's really tough with a long wave dash, like with long wave dash characters, it's so committal to move. And I think Ginger is going to make it so tough to actually like get an opening because the minute Icy shield, you immediately know how far they can go from there. There's no sort of mix-up if they want to go forward.
Yeah. Damn it. I'm kind of getting, honestly, dude, I'm kind of like in my feels about these Icy situations because, I don't know, something about losing to Ices and getting wobbled, it's like, it's kind of like, it builds character, I think. I think that the Spaceys out here are getting a bit too big for their britches. And I would love if we just keep doing this endless cycle of like wobbling getting unbanned and just all these Ices coming out and just dumping on all these cocky ass Falcos and Foxes that are like sick with tech skill but don't know, don't know their neutral from their bootral or whatever, and they just get grabbed into oblivion. Like, I need to see specifically my buddy Jason, who beat me in the last best of 5. I think he'd get destroyed by these Ices, but that's just me. I'm just salty. Ginger's out here. He's just on a different level.
Oh, CCing the down air. That was brilliant by Ginger. Didn't even have to worry about the second hit because Nana was nowhere close. Jeez. And yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's about prioritization, right? When do you target switch more than anything? And wow. Ginger's play. This is textbook. This is textbook. This is a man who takes a lot of Drug Fox lessons, JD. That's all I can say.
Oh, trust me, I heard about this very recently. For 2 years, once a week, 4 times a month, for 2 years, and you see it here where Trail was so nervous to play Ginger, he SP'd the first stock. That's how good Ginger is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I like also still being willing to grab Ices, right? Especially with Sopo. It's just like they'll shield a lot so that they don't die, but you can just grab forward throw them, and that's at the very least a positional advantage. Wow. Yeah.
Very least. I just don't know. I don't know what else is going to come out. Oh my god, the up B to get out of that pressure as well. Just Ginger is not afraid to do slow encroaching pressure consistently. That down smash will take the kill.
Yep.
Take the stock. You know, I don't think, again, this isn't free for anyone. Now Ices or Trail, excuse me, has couldn't even finish the sentence before Ginger had the counter.
Oh my goodness.
Brutal.
Oh, Nana's trying to... Oh, what a great target switch by Ginger. This is so rough for Trail right now. Ginger's playing so textbook, so well against Ices.
SDIing out, or at least holding that C-stick up. Get out of that blizzard. And now the combo starts again. Down smash. If that was on purpose, that was a really good option.
Wow. The isolation by Ginger... separating Sopo and Nana is what impresses me the most, honestly, right now. I'm just mesmerized. And it looks like Ginger's about to close it against, Nana. And then lone Sopo for New England right now. This looks to be curtains, unfortunately.
Yep. Midwest doing a great job keeping their closer, understanding their assets. Some great performances all around. I mean, kudos to everyone on both teams. That was some great melee going around. And Midwest taking it against New England.
Yeah.
What else is there to say, man?
Battle,
I mean,
honestly.
Wait, what?
I just said battle? I said crew battle, JD. What a crew battle to kick us off.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it had everything. It had momentum swings. It had 8 stocks. It had a random Zelda transformation in there as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, at first I thought that it was just going all Midwest all day, right? That it was it just started off too clean, and then the stocks being taken were just not we're not going to be adding up. But then Calvar came in and put on such a crazy strong performance. I mean, bringing it so necessarily close for my sake. I wanted to stay involved. I wanted it to be hype, and it was till pretty much the very end. I mean, up until Slox and TRT, that was kind of still anyone's game. Midwest on paper has a pretty distinct advantage. Ginger being the strongest, I would say, individual player, just by rankings, and we definitely saw it at the end there how strong Ginger was. But New England has just more heart than any scene I've seen in my experience. I mean, New England has a lot going for it, and honestly, a team of 5 is a good representation. It's not the perfect representation. So strong stuff, and I hope they keep their heads up because they did really well.
Yeah, I agree. It's sad that, again, like I just miss New England a lot, especially having moved to the West Coast, right? Always went up to see them at Hog and all at the Boston locals. But it's good to see like a strong showing from them again. Calvar, kind of the MVP for New England, and then for the Midwest, I think it was just clean all around, honestly. Yeah, and next we have MDVA versus Southeast, JD, which I am so excited to commentate. I know you are too, but we're actually gonna head to a break first. So everyone, keep watching, keep supporting the big one.
Yep, be right back.